how this podcast was built on the cold grounds.
Yeah.
So
you were in my mind a lot. I was just so like, oh my gosh, if there's any podcast that anyone's going to want me on after this, if I'm mortally embarrassed through Justin's freaking Facebook Live, I'm going to be okay with Eric and Erica.
1, 2, 3, 4.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 137 of the On the Runs podcast. It's been a few weeks since we've been back on the pod. We hope most of you have been enjoying our Best of 2024 series and the OTR Classics we've been dropping. Erica took this time conveniently off to get sick while on vacation, while also becoming the face of the Flying Pig Marathon. We have an all-time episode for you today as we welcome back two of our amazing Pod Fam alums. But first, let me say hello to my amazing rock star of a co-host, 6-star Erica. What's up?
What's up, buddy? I feel like I haven't seen you in forever, but also I just saw you this morning. So
You just saw me this morning. We ran in the Jingle Bell 5K, right? Conveniently 2 miles down the street from my house. Like, that was convenient.
Very convenient for you. I had no problem coming up to your area, but the only thing I am griping about is how freaking cold it was today.
It was, I think it was like 18 degrees.
It was chilly.
Well, the Instagram story said at the end of the race, it was 24 degrees. It didn't feel that cold in the sun.
Oh, that wasn't so bad, but it took the entire 3 miles of us running for my toes to thaw out. And then they were on fire. I'm like, oh my God, this is just, this is a shit show.
That was fun. The amazing Amber Fiera invited us to that run to be part of her team, Team Giuseppe.
Giuseppe. Oh, I love it. You have to say it with an Italian accent.
And she gave us the hats. I wish I had the hat on me right now. I'd be like, here it is.
Upstairs, right?
Yeah. She gave us the hats. Those are sweet. It was cool to get to see her. I had to run out kind of quickly after because Adeline has been in the Christmas Carol all week. And let me tell you, this girl is a star on the stage. She is amazing. She has all the on-stage facials and nonverbal and verbal, and she has lines now, and she loves it. You can tell everything she's been doing lately. By the way, when we were gone on a break, she's now a national champion cheerleader.
Oh my God.
They won the national championship.
Your daughter
Holy
has
shit.
the it factor.
Yeah.
She is just so personable, and she's going places, man. I just can't wait to see what she's going to do.
I'm super pumped. We'll have her back on the pod maybe to talk about the national championships and the show.
That would be so cool. I bet you'd love that.
That would be cool. Maybe you could interview her.
I would love to. Get me and Tara Pterodactyl, and you can just be there. That'd
be an all-time episode. That would be an all-time episode, just like today's, as we have two amazing guests. We'll get to them real soon.
Yes.
But yeah, hey, how have you been? You were a little under the weather. You went to visit your parents for Thanksgiving. What's up?
So, I've had an interesting few weeks. I mean, I miss being on the pod. But I got better because you guys heard how sick I was before I left. I was feeling great visiting my parents down in South Carolina. The only thing about that is we brought the cold weather down there. We had 3 days of 70-degree weather, and then it was down in the 40s and 50s. So, but besides the point, I felt great. And then what happens once I come home? Boom, I get a head cold. So I'm still working on it. You guys can still hear it in my nose a little bit. I got a cough, but God, is this my life now? I hope not.
Well, it's almost like you have kids. Last year, I was the one who kept getting sick.
Can't even blame kids. No,
you are the one getting sick now. Have you been hanging around children, young children who carry diseases, schools in and everything?
No, I was on a plane. That's a cesspool, I suppose.
True. Hey, I noticed a little addition to your spare Red Room studio.
Do you see right there?
I see it.
One of our guests on this episode pointed it out, and I was like, "Oh my God, you can actually see it!" Because I'm a fidgeter. I fidget a lot in my chair, and plus when we have guests on, just my view, it's skinny, so I can just see literally me, and it doesn't show my background. So the fact that she could actually see, I've got two beautiful flamingos. One of them with a Christmas hat and scarf. So
Yeah.
It was fun.
Awesome. Why don't we get right to it? We weren't
do
expecting
it.
to be back. We tried to take December off, but the Great World Race happened. We had the opportunity to have a lot of people on from the Great World Race. So the next couple of weeks, you are going to have episodes drop with runners from the Great World Race. We're super excited. We're super grateful. They all gave us their time. Not all of them. Maybe one day all of them. But
Wouldn't that be cool?
Oh, this one's a home run right here. We had something. Holy cow, Erica. Why don't you tell them what we have?
Well, if you guys have listened to some of our past episodes, you know that there's a few guests that we've had that I just absolutely fangirl over. And this episode was a double whammy. Let's just put it that way. I was sitting there like with heart eyes the whole time. So on this episode, if you guys were following along with the Great World Race, we had 3 of our very own pod fam on there. We had Becs Gentry, Ash Paulson, and Justin Spencer. And in this episode, we got both Becs and Ash together to talk about some of their experiences. And it was an absolute blast. They saved some of their best stories for us.
They really did.
We're so thankful for.
They really did, because Bex did that Facebook, Instagram live, and someone asked her a question. And in that live, she goes, you know what? I'm going to save that for Eric and Erica.
We are so thankful that they did. And this episode is just so much fun. It was awesome just to just see them hanging out together, basically.
Yeah.
They hadn't seen each other in a little while, and it was nice to have them back together. And it was a nice time to be a fly on the wall.
It really was. So why don't all of you be a fly on the wall right now, just like Erica and I were the other day when we recorded with them, and enjoy Becs Gentry and Ash Paulson on the On the Runs podcast. Our next guests on the pod are 2 of our favorite pod fam alums. They're 2 absolutely badass runners and amazing mothers who went from social media acquaintances to seatmates on the Rolling Stones plane during the Great World Race, as they both ran 7 marathons in 7 continents in 7 days. We were all glued to the live stream and knew we had to take our shot to get them both back on the pod together at the same time. One has the flying pink hair and the other one has the power of the flamingo. We are wicked excited to welcome back Ashley Paulson and Becs Gentry to the On the Runs podcast. What's up, you 2 amazing rock stars?
So good. Oh my gosh, so excited to be back. Becs,
I miss you. I miss sleeping next to you.
My roommate.
I am so excited to just be like a fly on the wall right now, like seeing the 2 of you. You guys are 2 of my favorite people, so welcome back. I'm so excited to hear what stories you have to share with us, and I'm literally just going to sit here like dreamy-eyed.
You're so sweet. Thanks for having us. I feel like
pleasure.
we are our two worlds have collided, definitely in many ways before the race. Like, we had so many friends in common who
I know, crazy.
Ash ran with Sanjay and Randy, and then there we were. You know, it was as though we were meant to be romies and besties on the miles.
Absolutely. It was like it was funny because just meeting her, I was like, no, I feel like I've met you years ago. So it was just an automatic, just like connection. It was great.
That's the power of social media. I feel like whoever I've been following for so long, you just like, you don't need to tell me anything about you. I know you. And it's a little weird at that point, but you guys have really got to know each other over that one amazing week. I can't wait to hear
herself
about
of me.
I mean, Bex, you got to sleep with Ashley on her anniversary.
I know.
That still is a little jealous.
It was like, I literally, so Matt wasn't going to be coming on the whole journey, and then when he surprised Ash in Cape Town with like, I'm gonna come with you on the whole thing, and then I end up sitting next to Ash on the plane, I was like, hey, you know, we could totally swap. But he was doing like logistic stuff and helping the team, and then so that was the first level. And then when it was our anniversary night and it's her and I checking into the room together, I was like, I'm really sorry, buddy. This feels so wrong.
It was weird, but it was also like, he wanted me to still have the full experience of the 7. And part of that was going to be rooming with her in Istanbul. So he didn't want to mess up any of that, I thought it was really sweet, even though I'm sure that was just a little bit of jealousy. He's like, wait, or maybe there wasn't. Maybe he's like, woo! I've had 23 years of those anniversaries. I do not need a 24th.
Delayed special. But you got to bring him the win on the anniversary, right?
Yes, that was special.
Yeah.
What a
That
way
was
to
a cool moment.
celebrate.
Run out in a Speedo at midnight, and that was extra special.
That was, do you remember what I said to you? Well, to Maddie, actually. I thought, so it was so late in the night, and it was midnight, as Ash said. We're in Istanbul, Asia.
Yes.
I always get it wrong. Istanbul, Asia. It's raining, it's wet. Our group of girls had split up mainly because I had a code brown. And so I'm running by myself at this point. I see Maddie's been there like halfway through the lap, all the way, like every
and
race.
it was short laps.
Short, 1K.
It was
1K
like
repeats.
1K out. Yeah, so
Really?
you see him a lot.
Oh, that's wicked short.
Saw him low, so like I knew what he was wearing. And then all of a sudden, I'm running towards him again, pitch black, and I'm like, I see pink, and I was like,
Too much.
I thought it was his butt cheeks. I thought he was having a code brown. And I literally looked away. I was like, oh no. Mustn't look at Manny with his pants down. And then it took me until the end of the race to know the whole story behind it. And I was like, Manny, I can't believe I saw your butt cheeks.
Did this make it on the live stream at all? Because this is total news to me, and I'm loving it.
That is not. I don't know if it did because he was only out there for a short time.
Yeah,
it was cold.
It was cold.
Yeah, we saw him at the very end of the live stream
Oh
when
my
you
gosh.
finished the race, and then you gave him a hug and a kiss, and you mentioned the anniversary. That's what I remember seeing.
No, I think Ben and Brax may have missed that one.
I think the one that
behind the
you
scenes.
saw was race 5. Yes, race 5. The one he did it was race 4 because we ran late at night and
Yep.
it went into that same day, and so it was like midnight. So that was race 4, and then race 5 is the one that I was like, we gave the little smoochy at the finish line and stuff. So
Well, she brought the sub 3.
Yes, I'm like, I needed to do that one for Maddie.
How you had the energy to pull that off, I can't even tell you. You two are amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Well, let's get into it. I mentioned in the intro, you didn't really know each other outside of social media. Do you remember the first time the two of you met in person?
Yeah.
Yes, I walked into the hotel and there she was. There was like a halo over her head and angels. No, but like walked into the hotel and we were planning to go out for a run. So that was our first meetup, was a nice little shakeout run. So I was excited to meet such an amazing girl to do what I love. So we went out and did a little run together on our very first.
We did. We got Shireen. Shireen was with us. And
Jenny, she ran 5 miles with us.
She ran some with us.
Yeah.
And Hillary had already gone for a run that morning. So we sort of crossed paths. But it was definitely like first few moments. So it was like, yeah, she is exactly how I thought she would be. Wonderful, beautiful, energetic. And I was, right. I was like, I'm not letting her out of my life now. I'm like, yeah, this is it. This is it. I'm like, come here.
You are very two peas in a pod, like just very similar paces, which is great for like a journey like this, because like you have a partner. You can stick
so
together,
nice.
just vibe off of each other and support each other and just have like a little backup system. So that is so nice that you guys could do that for each other.
It was so fun. So fun to be able to have so much time to run together. Because I really nobody knew how I was going to play out, how you're going to feel and stuff. But to be feeling pretty similar every single day was amazing for all of us to be able to, because it's not like we were like all casually running. It was like, hey, it was just this good, strong pace together. And we were all feeling that. Like, we had our moments, of course, that we'd need to pull or be pulled. And so it was really fun to have like all of that partnership out there.
Yeah.
Excellent.
It really was.
Well, let's jump into it. Let's go in order. You're in Cape Town, and you're planning on running in Antarctica in a couple of days, and then all of a sudden, you go to like the team meeting, the group meeting, and it's like, hey, we're leaving tomorrow morning. Get ready.
Yeah. That one. That
we
one
were
was
all
funny.
like kind of looking around like, when is he going to just say, just kidding?
Yeah. We all thought it was a joke. We were like, way to break the ice, David. Well done. Haha. Okay, let's get on with it. And he's like, very direct Irish guy. Like he was, I would imagine one of the most stressful points of the whole trip for him was probably that day.
Oh, for sure.
And he was like, oh no, I'm not joking. He was so deadly serious that we were all like school kids who were like sitting up straight all of a sudden.
Yes.
Notebooks came out. Everyone's like, okay, we're ready. Let's go.
Well, the way he said it, he wasn't like, I've got a big announcement, you guys. Like,
No.
it was just so casual. Like, so yeah, we're leaving tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. instead of on Friday. Just kind of like that. And I was like, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. No,
So
we all thought we had such a nice day of organization and like getting our feet on the ground, ready. And like when we said we went for a run that morning, Ash, Shireen, and I did nearly 8 miles, and we didn't chill. Like we were talking, but like we can also run pretty fast when we talk. And like we went hard.
Becs, we were doing 6:30s. I'll just tell you.
Yeah.
Because I remember Shireen being like, we're doing 6:30s. And Becs is like, this might be the only time we feel this way. So we're going to keep feeling this way. And I'm like, okay, let's go. Do you remember that? Like,
Yeah.
we might not feel this way again. So let's just take it right now.
And
so yeah,
very,
it was
very
not your normal shakeout run.
No, it was not, because we thought we had a whole day off or like a real easy short run the next day, and then bam, David Kelly pops that bubble and cranks the anxiety button.
So were there regrets for those 6:30 miles?
No.
No, because I mean, we know. I mean, what's one day early to get started at like a solid pace?
Yeah, you guys had trained your asses off. Yeah, you guys were ready. So that extra little pace increase was brilliant.
I feel like it was I wouldn't have done anything different. So.
Good.
So tell us about Antarctica then. Like, what was that experience like? I think it kind of felt like everyone.
The tinkle pot. Don't. Yeah. Spare no details on the tinkle pot.
This starts our Code Brown stories. Let's go. Yes. We have so. I mean, I think what race. I don't remember what race it was. You might ask, but we talked about Erica and Eric whilst we were running because we said like, oh my god, they are going to have a field day with all of our stories.
Yes.
Oh my god, you're making us so happy right now.
But the so Antarctica was our longest loops, 4 10K loops. As we said, all the other ones were real short,
a lot shorter.
So this was, little did we know at the time, we thought all of them were going to be like 4 loops, 6 loops, maybe 8, but no, that went. And so we're running in the middle of Antarctica. I mean, it's the white desert. It is beautiful and empty and just magical. Second lap in, I'm like, I need to go.
Not so magical anymore.
And it was painful. And I think, Ash, you said the same, Hillary, and we were all like, we had this
all three
pain in our stomachs. And we were like, okay, is it time of month? Like, what's happening? It was just a weird, like, okay. And then you're like, okay, well, I'm on the bottom of the earth. I've traveled a long way. There's probably a lot going on. And we get up to the top aid station, and I said to the guys, I was like, is there a bathroom anywhere? You know, my true British way of like, oh, hello, I need to use the bathroom.
Good day.
And this guy, honestly, it was a table with frozen water and frozen gummy bears, essentially, on it. And he steps to the side and just gestures to this box with, it's a trail ultra running version with a toilet lid on it, and was like, here's the tinkle pot. Literally was like, I don't need to tinkle.
I feel like we saw a picture of this because Tarek
posted a picture of it.
So
yes.
This was what we had.
This is what we had. And I am not as brave as Tarek, perhaps, but I wasn't going to get my bare naked ass out on day 1 and go number 2 in front of everyone, like right there and then. So I kept running and screamed to the medics at some point, like, where's the private toilet? And they really didn't want us to go in like the staff area. They were clearly trying to keep that clean. But Hillary and I found it and we ran. That was the fastest loop.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Which is actually like amazing that sometimes you can't run. There is no option. It is like I'm dead stop in my tracks. Or
we got there, Ash. We got there.
the next. Oh yeah, there was.
We definitely got to that point.
We'll wait for those stories. But
that's why we're friends forever. That one.
The bonds. Yep. Code Brown bonds.
Well, it seemed like great. Antarctica was kind of a rush because of the weather, and it was your window was so much smaller than what you originally thought you were going to have. So, was there also like the pressure of, hey, I got to go number 2 and then keep going right now, and we got to get this done? You don't want to hold up or slow up and make everybody late.
Yeah. I wasn't so worried about the time crunch on that for the because we had 8 hours from the time we landed to the time we needed to leave. And so I knew we had plenty of time for us anyway. I was worried about some of the other athletes that I knew were walking. But I wasn't worried about that. Were you, Becs?
Yeah, no. I knew that we would get it done, especially because that bathroom break came halfway through. That was 2 laps in. I was like, okay, we've got 2 laps to go. And you know what it's like. Once you've been, it's a game changer. You feel so much better that I was like, okay, I know my pace is going to be able to get a little bit quicker here. And now I know where the non-tingle part is, that the stress levels aren't going to be so high. Right. So no, I wasn't worried at all. It was more for me, I think I just struggle with the hydration in Antarctica. I run with water and electrolytes in my hand, and obviously you can't do that with the weather in Antarctica. And I hate drinking cold water. So when they gave us frozen water, I was like, geez, this is rough. And my body just did not love it. So I definitely felt the pace slow down. And so I kind of used Ash's hair under her fluffy hat and Hillary's swinging blonde ponytail as they kind of moved away from me. I was just like, keep following those 2 carrots because you get to the finish line.
I can't believe. So I watched your live stream, Becs. Thanks for the shout outs, by the way. But you were saying how because of the weather and the coldness, you guys wound up getting blisters inside of, like, on the inside of your lips. I can't even fathom how that happens just from breathing in the cold air.
I think it was.
I don't know, because yours wasn't on the outside at all, right? It was more like.
Was it like
it was like here, like right. It wasn't like it was on the top
all of
here
us
to here,
weird.
And it was honestly. I don't remember it in South Africa. I remember just kind of having dry lips in South Africa the next day. It wasn't until Australia that I was like, what has happened to my lips?
Lip injections.
Yeah, we all look swollen.
Like, oh no.
And then, like, thank goodness for the pawpaw in Australia. I saw it in the airport and bought us a team tube of it. And we were just like, lathering it all over ourselves.
Every 10 minutes, pass the pawpaw wrap.
Smart.
Yeah, but it was uncomfortable in where you consider that you're taking in salts for the most part. There were certain times for me, and I think for Ash as well, we both were like, ow, this isn't feeling great right now. But yeah, it's healed up, thank goodness.
Wow.
I wasn't sure where it came from either. Like, but I'm assuming it was Antarctica, but it just took a few days to actually. Yeah,
probably
we had good sunscreen on, but maybe not here.
Exactly. I reckon it rubbed off with the saliva and then the brightness, like kind of when we were talking and we're so smiley and laughing, like it's just like right in there.
Oh, and it was all of us, just right
all
there.
of us. Yeah,
that's so weird, but I'm glad that I hope eventually it healed and that your lip balm was helping out. And good. So let's I don't know. Let's go to you guys got any stories from Cape Town? Oh my gosh! By the way, the 5 of you who you all finished in a row. You had me in tears. Like, I was just so invested in all 5 of you for pushing each other on, and just like, I don't know, it was just so beautiful to watch. Like, that was such a wonderful live stream. Yeah.
It was so fun. That's one that I'll always cherish, because we were having so much fun too. Like, but we were still keeping a really good pace too. We weren't just like, oh, just walk it off. And I think we were excited that we could be in less clothes and not worried about like bathrooms as much too, so we can relax a little bit. And we're just like, why would we separate? Let's just stay together. So during different bathroom stops, we just kind of slowed down while one went to the bathroom, and then as they'd run up to us, Bex was doing her 6-minute mile to catch up, and then we'd slowly progress back into our normal pace. And I think you tried to go to the bathroom a few times. Like you went once into a porta potty and you're like, never mind, I'm not going in there. I'm like, oh no. Like she went to like some construction place and we're did you go through that gate?
Probably.
You're like, no, never mind.
Turn around. Yeah, it turned into like my GI issues definitely were bad for the first 5 races. I really did struggle. And I definitely had the conversation with the girls a lot of like, you don't have to wait for me. It's absolutely fine. But as all runners know, you're quick and you're efficient in those situations for the most part. So I'm like, as long as I can still see them when I come out the bathroom, I'm going to hammer it and try and catch them up. And it became a joke with Ash that every time I went to the bathroom, I looked at my watch and it was 6:12 that I was sprinting to catch up. I'm like, I always run a 6:12 to chase your ass.
You guys are just so damn speedy.
Like, fartleks, like pick it up really quick and then we can slow down and go.
One way to check if your stomach is feeling okay is to sprint.
Oh my God. That's the last thing I would want is right after a bathroom stop, just hammering and just trying to catch up. Yeah. But good for you guys. Oh man. It was
amazing.
I have heard though, you are not the only one with GI issues because we have spoken to some other people and it happened all around. So you were not alone.
Yeah, I think I would say I started a trend for some of the races.
It's not the type of trend you want to start, Bex. Come on.
I think Istanbul, Asia was the one I laugh about the most. Is Shireen actually brought it up? She thought of it. As we were running along the Bosphor River, there were these little tiny steps that could take people down to, I don't know whether they fish on it or they got on small boats. I don't know. It was dark. Shireen at one point was like, I think I'm going to have to go. And I think I'm going to have to go down those steps. And it was wet and like mossy down there. I was like, Shireen, just be careful. And she was like, no, actually not sensible. Kept going. 2 laps later, I was like, I'll catch you up, girls. Down I went. I nearly swam in the Bosphor River. It was so slippy. Definitely, I know a couple of people saw my butt that day.
It was dark, though.
It was dark.
You had that going for you.
I did. But then that started the trend because everyone was like, where did you go? I was like, steps. But in hindsight, we should have been like, don't go to step 3. I took it. But yeah, claim the territory. And then Australia was pretty bad. I was in pain and the girls were just, you were legends to me on that one I think Ash was like, oh, for God's sake, just give me everything in your hands. Because I had my sunglasses I'd taken off because the sun had set and I was holding them. I had my bottle in my hand and I'm like faffing around like, I need to go, but we've only got 4 miles. Can I hold it? I'm literally like probably really pissing them all off with my conversation. And Ash is like, just give me everything and go behind a bush. I was like, okay, Mom.
Well, you also, I'm like, let's do this. I promise you're going to feel better. We're going to wait. But like, I'm like, we'll kind of slow down. Like, but don't hold it because you could tell she was just miserable. She had a belt on, one of those belts on it, and it was pushing on her belly. And she's like, I'll wait till next loop to give it to Maddie because Maddie was out and he'd grab our stuff. And I was like, no, take it off right now. I will hold it. She's like, no. I'm like, take it off right now. I will hold it because I know that feeling.
Oh, yeah.
And I know she doesn't want to give me more weight, but I'm like, I'm good right now. Surprisingly, I had not had to go to the bathroom at any of the races so far.
No,
so
you were a legend.
I was like, let me help you. Take a little bit of a load off your stomach in a little bit of a way. And then I'm like,
just temporary too.
But it was like only a mile left or something once you finally
was really,
did go. Like we were so close, but you're like, it's not happening. I was
like, I'm not going to make it.
It was a moment.
It was. That was really embarrassing because that was like in the middle of a nice park in Australia and there was no cover. And then as I'm finishing, I'm like, I can't use anything because it's Australia and I don't know what will kill me.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I'm not going to just grab that leaf because it could have a spider on it. So yeah, those shorts went in the trash.
Oh,
They did, really. She's not joking. She legit threw them away. She's like,
Gone.
mm-mm.
Never seen them again.
so
I think I saw a few pair of shorts of yours in the trash.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Multiple. I think I came home with one pair of shorts.
So we did hear a little bit about this because we watched Justin's live stream.
Good
from that.
Lord.
I
guy
felt
called
some
me out.
embarrassment for you.
Yeah, he called me right out.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
a
He
little
went
brutal that day.
too.
I believe it.
Oh, I
Everybody
think
was doing it.
Everyone was
Yeah.
doing it. I
Come
just
on.
All the cool kids.
Well, I think what happened was Justin was on Facebook Live.
he was-
What
and,
did Justin call you out on?
well, I think it was more when he was on Facebook Live, the group you had ran by and Becs wasn't there. And then like a minute later, Becs came flying by and she goes, potty break.
At her 6'12" face.
Yep.
There we go. Yeah, I think it just became because we were doing so many short loops, which was wonderful because we got to see all the other runners, we got to shout each other out, high fives, and it really, as much as I hate short loops, I'm not a track girl. It was such a camaraderie, a feeling of love and realization that we were individuals but yet a group doing this race. But on the flip side of that, like, because the four of us were running together so often, if one of us wasn't there, namely me, everyone's like, we know what she's
We
doing.
know where they are.
And like, I did. Yeah, in Justin's defense, I fully did like pop out of the bush as he was running past, like pulling my shorts up and was just like, okay, I can't hide that one.
Well, you definitely handled
Yeah.
it well. I mean, it is such a relatable thing. It happens to every runner. Like that's
Yeah.
how this podcast was built on
Yeah.
the Code Browns.
Yeah.
So
you were
we
in
totally
my
understand.
mind a lot. I was just
Yes.
so like, oh my gosh, if there's any podcast that anyone's going to want me on after this, if I'm mortally embarrassed through Justin's freaking Facebook Live, I'm going to be okay with Eric and Erica.
Yep.
You're safe with us, we promise. But oh my gosh, yeah, it happens to everybody. And as much as I wish you didn't have these stories, thank you for
Yeah.
sharing them.
Yeah,
Now we
two,
get time together due to those stories.
Yes. Well, we're
two
happy to
running
have you whenever.
coaches. We get it.
Mhm.
Yep.
Happens all the time. So where do we go from here? You guys have completed 3 races because we did, Australia, Cape Town, Perth. Actually, you guys already covered Istanbul as well. So
We got
Where do
Maddie
you-
in a Speedo. And
Let's go to
Istanbul.
the plane, actually. Let's go to the
Oh.
plane. You
Oh,
two
yeah.
are
Roommates.
seatmates. What was life like on the
Yes.
plane? What was the vibe? What were the conversations? We heard from Ben, and Ben said, like, oh, everyone was just like sharing Normatec boots and helping everyone recover and stretch and get better than trying to get sleep at the same time. What was the life like on the plane for the two of you?
Well, we were roommates, which was so great. We didn't know. Like, that was just our actual assigned seats, which was super fun. And the vibe, the energy was so great. Everyone was in good spirits, but everyone was trying to help each other. Okay, what can I get you for nutrition-wise? Boots. Who's got boots? Who doesn't? Who has a gun? Who doesn't? To try to help everyone recover and so they can all have their best race. And but then, yes, when quiet hours hit, we were just like headphones or earphones on. We all got ugly pictures of us sleeping and drool coming out, and that was kind of a thing. Like, if you see somebody sleeping ugly, you got to get a good picture.
Yeah. Oh,
But
yeah.
it was great energy on the plane.
Oh, it
So we had
was.
Shireen and Hillary right in front of us. So it was like the 4 of us, like boom, boom,
Aw.
boom. And then Jenny right to the side. So all 5 of us just right there.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
And
that.
Matt-
Maddie
super
right here.
And
as
then
well.
Maddie right behind me would be like, hello.
But it was like I have to give a huge shout out to to David Kelly and the logistics that he planned with the crew, because you get on a long haul flight, especially with kids. This is kind of came to my mind first off, is that you're like, okay, you plan the time you leave because you're like, okay, we're going to get in the air, then the kid's going to go to sleep and it's going to be great, we're going to land. And then you forget service. So you get in the air and there's clanking around with the trolley and there's like an hour and a half passes, the cabin lights are bright still. You're like, oh my God, my kid needs to go to sleep.
Mhm.
And what they did that was really great, and I know this is different because it was a chartered flight service. But while the plane was sort of being loaded, as we all got on, there was food. There was like a buffet style situation. So we got on the plane, we ate immediately. There was water bottles waiting for us. So that meant as the plane took off, we were plunged into sleep and darkness pretty much instantly. You could always go and get more food if you wanted to, but that gave us the opportunity on the shorter flights to just rest straight away. And I think that was a game changer for me, because when you get on a flight after a race, you're really tired. Like, you've sat down, we'd been plowing through the airports, walking still. So, I mean, we all joke that we actually think it was 8 marathons in 7 days because of the amount of walking we did through airports and everything.
Yes.
But he really nailed it when it came to that thought process. And I think, Ash, was it the flight to Cartagena from Istanbul, right, where we refueled in Madrid, and neither of us woke up.
They didn't have us sit our seats up. They didn't tell us we were landing. It was amazing. I actually thought we hit something in the air, because I was like,
damn birds.
Oh, we cook. And then, but I'm like, wait, are we on the ground? No, they would have had us come up, sit up. They kept it so dark, so quiet, so everyone could just sleep, because
That is great.
that is the biggest thing between if you can get some recovery, where our bodies are trained for this, but recovering and stuff is huge. So he did amazing. And especially having it all like shifted a whole 24 hours. I couldn't imagine what he had on his plate. And he did really good.
So good. But the sharing of the boots, we had Fergal Mullen, big shout out to him.
Oh,
he was like our coach, wasn't he? He would be amping us up in the races. He'd be like, "Great going, girls," and his lovely Irish accent. He's like, "Great tempo, keep it going.
Keep that cadence. Oh, every little thing he'd be like.
So good. And he had these, they called Game Ready, Ash, or something like that. I'd never tried them before, and they're like ice sleeves, and they come with what looks like a spare car battery. But you fill that with ice, and then you put these sleeves on. And I'm watching Ash do it for the first time. She's sitting next to me, and within like 30 seconds, she's like, "Can I have your blanket, please?" She's like, "I'm cold to my bones."
I felt like Titanic. I was like, it's so cold.
So cold. So we're like layering our blankets on her. But it was amazing. Like, this guy and other people just sharing their devices that they knew would help people. There was Ross, one of the team, who was a fantastic, highly, highly qualified, highly educated masseuse. I mean, he's done some crazy trainings around the world, and he was just popping up, helping people. I mean, he helped you tons when your hip started to flare up, and
it was insane. He got me walking again.
He did, and running. I mean, you could barely walk.
I couldn't walk. Yeah,
we'll get to it, but that was a whole different story. But yeah, it was the plane was just, and I think the more we got on the planes, I've never felt excited to get on a 19-hour flight in my life. But oh boy, you could not have got me on that plane faster that day. I was like, get me to my seat. I need to be on this plane. I need to sleep. But on any given other trip, I'd be like, I'll be the last person on. I'm cool.
Yes. Plus, you've got full bed. I mean, it lays back, and you've got all this food and everything. From snackies, like sugary snackies and gummies and stuff, to real food, and
and it was familiarity. Everywhere else we went was new, and it was fast in and out. The plane, our seats became our home and our familiar place, and that was so strange for me to process, that I enjoyed that little weird space for those 7 days. But it was really nice to come back to it and be like, oh, here's my snuggly jumper. Here's my compression boots. Here's my big koala that I got for Tallulah. Like, it was just cute.
It's a cute little home.
Yeah.
So you guys mentioned you had wonderful recovery tools on the plane, and I know both of you were battling at one point or another some sort of injury. So, Becs, you had a bout of plantar fasciitis, I believe, right? Your feet were bothering you?
Well,
you guys can go into it, but how did you get through that wall and keep going when you had extra races to do?
Yeah. I'll start with mine because it's shorter, and I know Ash is still in hers, so I want to give her the time on that one. What mine ended up being was in Antarctica, the lack of hydration that I had actually led to almost a cramp in my hamstring. I felt it coming, it tightened, but it never fully cramped. Thank the Lord above. But it essentially, it tightened up my whole posterior fascia, which meant that the fascia under my foot after, that was Antarctica race 1. I felt it in South Africa, but was like, we're running on concrete, and just pushed it aside. Didn't feel it in Australia, didn't feel it in Istanbul, Asia, and then bam, 5th race, Istanbul, Europe. It hit me so hard and so painful because over those miles and impact, the fascia under my foot had just gotten to this point of rock. And it was just like with every step. And on that particular race, our right legs were our outer leg for the turnarounds for both sides. And it was honestly, every little step I took was just me going, fuck, 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 fuck,
oh, no.
every single time I turned around, because it was agony. And at this point, this was like the only race I think that I ran a lot by myself. Hillary and Ash and Shireen felt fantastic that day, and so they were off up ahead. But again, loops, I got to see my girls and we were all like giving each other love. But it was a struggle. Like, that was the only race I put on my podcast. I listened to the whole podcast, and then I put on music, which you guys know I never listen to music. But I had my 90s hip hop. I was like, hey, Siri, 90s hip hop. Like, what's going to pull me out of this? Yeah, I needed a boost. Ross, the physio guy, gave me some anti-inflammatories and pain medication, which I never take them. So my body was like, body time. What's this? Let's go. And it worked because
at what was it, loop 6? You're like, I'm feeling loopy. I'm like, what did he give you?
I had no idea what he gave me. He literally put his hand in his pocket. This like wild barefooted Irish guy that I'd met 5 days earlier on a bike put his hand in his pocket and gave me 3 pills, and I'm like, sure, dude. And I was like, who am I?
Isn't that rule number 1? Don't take stuff from strangers. Like,
right.
No weird things, but I'm glad.
Lo and behold, it was goodness. And the pain medication worked, and I carried on, and I was able to actually pick up my pace on that race. And then I did keep taking the medication on the other 2 races just in case. And it was it was like there, but it wasn't agony again. And touch wood, since I've been home, I ran a half marathon 2 days ago, and it was fine. Nothing has flared up. So I just think it was that tightness in the muscles. So I went through that race 5, and then for Ash, it was the next race where yours started giving you, like, it was the flight, wasn't it? From Istanbul to, you stood up at one point, and I just remember locking eyes with you. She literally was like a Lego woman. She was like, oh no. And
I didn't realize
you inside.
You caught me doing that look. Yeah. But
she was just like
feeling
frozen. Yeah, and Ash's face always looks like this. She is always bubbly and happy and smiling. And just to see this, like, nothing on her face other than like, don't panic, find my way to my husband. I could just feel her brain was like, where's Maddie? I need Maddie right now. And that, I mean, you're such a trooper, because you were like, I'm fine.
It's like, I'm fine.
But yeah, her leg was like
coming down.
It was there's your story.
Yeah, it was like you said, I stood up. There was no pain at all in race 1 through 5. I remember like Becs and I sitting on the plane one day, I think maybe 3 or something, and she's like, we're feeling our quads. We're like, are we sore? Okay, we feel good. I'm like, oh, my hip is a little tight, but no big deal. Nothing like painful, but I could just, like, if I touched it, I was like, a little tight, big deal. But nothing. You'd think that I had fallen or something with the amount of pain just putting any weight on. Laying there, sitting there, nothing. So I had no idea until I stood up, and I was like, I can't.
Just hits you.
Can't walk. And so I'm using the chairs to get back to Maddie. He's 2 rows down because I didn't want it to anybody to see, but apparently Bex could see it right on my face because I have. But yeah, I just
you
am
guys
very
spend so much
transparent.
time together, so yeah, she can tell immediately. Yeah.
So I'm like using the chairs as my crutches to get to Maddie, and I was like, try to whisper. I'm like, I can't move my right leg, and like trying to hold back tears, and he's like, what? Like, you don't feel pain? I'm like, there's something I know. That's why it scares me because something I don't. Yeah, I heard I get tired. I get that, but like it was a different pain that I had felt. And he's like, it's going to loosen up. I'm like, I know. And it just was not locked. I can't say locked. I keep saying locked, but just like a shooting pain anytime I put any type of weight on it. And so I was just like so tense, like my shoulders up to here because I knew if any weight was going to, and I had no access to crutches or anything. So I was like, okay, so I've got 2 marathons to run. How are we going to do this? And so we're waiting in the airport. No, we were waiting in the lobby at this one for in Colombia. We had like 2 hours. And I was like, Ross, is there any way you could work on me for a second? I feel so bad. I know that it's one of the reasons he's there, but so all the girls go up to the room because we had rooms at that one just for afterwards to shower and stuff. And so they all went up there, and I stayed in the lobby with Ross, and he just like was digging into my leg, stretching it around my head like I'd never had it stretched before. I was like, I don't know what you're doing, but I was not able to put any weight on. And Matt's just sitting there like, hey, I don't know how this is going to work. And then Sanjay, one of the racers, actually, he came down as well. I mean, he's a racer. He's got his own marathon to worry about. So him and Ross start working on me, doing their different little whatever it is. Like I'm like, you guys are wizards, because I was able to stand up. And my first few steps, I kind of limped, and I was like, oh, I didn't need to limp. I was just doing that because I thought I needed to limp because it hurt so bad before. I'm like, I'm totally fine. I am totally fine. And I'm like, I had taken some ibuprofen. So I'm like, okay, whatever they did in the ibuprofen. And I ran pretty much pain-free on that race. Like we all ran together. We knew it was going to be hot. It was like, what was the temperature in Colombia? Like
19,
I heard like
something.
I'm like,
yeah, Rofin of like 101.
Yeah. And so we're all like, let's just hang together. But I was surprised that like, with how bad it was that morning, that I was running completely normal. I mean, we were doing 8s average because we did a 3:30 that day or something. Yeah. And totally fine. And then went up to the hotel room with the girls after getting in the ocean and enjoying that time. So like there was a pinch starting to build back in, and they wanted to go out, and I'm like, I was starting to feel it. I'm like, I'm going to take a nap, I think. And so I just stayed in the room, kind of stretched it out a bit. Once I woke up from the nap, 1,000% like times worse.
Oh no!
Than when I like that morning before, and they could not get it to come back. Like I'm like, hey, that's okay. They're gonna work their magic on me tomorrow. I've got one more to do, and I really, really like. I felt so good everywhere, like energy, muscles. I'm like, this is the one that Becs and I talked about. If we're gonna hit a sub-3, let's like the last one would be so cool to hit a sub-3. And I'm like, I feel the energy to do it, but like it's just, and it
body's not cooperating.
Hot. So I'm like, oh, Miami's like nothing compared to what Colombia was, but it was. I kept my glasses on for a reason, because there was just tears. Like I've cried while racing, but not like out of that type of pain, more of emotional, like, holy crap, this is happening, or holy crap, I still have 200 miles to go.
Casual.
You know? Yeah. But this was like every step was just elevating my heart rate, because I was so tense and so just the shooting pain of my body. And I've ran through I've done stupid stuff to my body and just pushed through it. Like I did an Ironman with a broken collarbone and broken ribs, and I was like, the swim, I just single armed it. I'm like, I'm fine. But I couldn't run. I could not run normal. So I was running like I had a stick up my butt. And
but you did finish it.
I did, and Maddie was so great. He was out there, of course, helping everybody, and he knows just what to say. Like he could see the pain and just the way I was running, obviously, and the look of discouragement on my face of like, I'm not able to give this one what I wanted to. And but he knew I wasn't going to not do it, even though he knew I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to do it. And he's just like, pain. Pain. This is just a little different. Hone it in, and just like, it's 3 hours of pain. Like, you can hit 3 hours of pain. And just kept reminding me, he's like, this, your body knows this. And not trying to be like, hey, go faster. He did like one time, he's like, if now's the time to dig, if you can. I'm like, I am. And he knew that. Like, he's like, I wasn't trying to make you feel bad. He's like, if there is something in you right now, like, now's the time to tap into that. And I'm like, this is what I got right now. And
he's the best.
I haven't been walking normal since. I agree.
He is the best. We all concur.
I love having everybody just be like, oh my gosh, Maddie's so great. I'm like, I know.
And he's got a great head of hair.
He does.
Yeah.
He does. It's just such a good look.
So the tears were flowing for Miami. I mean, Ashley, unfortunately, yours were from pain, but I'm sure just the fact that you were wrapping up this final marathon.
Oh, yeah.
And Becs, you had your support system there. You had Austin and Tallulah. And I mean, you finished with Hillary. Like, that was such a wonderful finish. And I saw tears at the finish line too. So why don't you tell us a little bit about how the final race went, or finishing the final race?
My gosh. It was, I mean, not to add to Ash's stress, but it was like on the start line, we kind of all huddled, the four of us huddled together, and Ash was like, you guys have to go. Like, don't wait for me. I'm going to be running so much slower. And being that we were all very similar paced runners, you know how much it can take the toll on the body to run slower when you're feeling like that fatigued. So we were like, okay, sure. She's like, no, seriously, I just need you to go and do it. Like, do it for us, do it for every other race that we've done. It was almost like you were like, I don't need you with me as well. It was like that. I need to struggle by myself through this one. Yeah. And so we were like, okay, love you. Let's go. And we started out, and there was actually Anders and the Italian guy, Alice. Fast and Fusilli. And they were with us, and Santosh was also with us too, one of the people who worked on Ash's leg. And so with Hillary, Shireen, and I, we kind of just ran, and it was a good pace. Like, we were getting to a good pace. The guys dropped off. Shireen dropped off as well, and then Hillary and I sort of were just there, the two of us. We looked at each other. We're like, we're sticking together, right? Like, there's no way we were going to leave one another at that point. It's just, other runners may have wanted to go for the glory, but I don't think any of the four of us would have abandoned the other person in that situation. We stuck it out together since Antarctica, and none of the four of us had that vibe of glory is better than friendship. Like, self-glory, solo glory is never going to beat this bond that we created. And so we were like, all right, badass moms are gonna finish this and take this in together.
Absolutely.
And that was really important, I think, for Hillary and I in that moment, to just show women out there that stop being competitive with one another. It's so much more of a beautiful life if you can find people who are on your wavelength and who you cherish. And you may find them early in life, you may find them later in life, you may find them in the weirdest of situations, i.e. the Great World Race.
Yeah, right?
But there's something that pulled us together from these different parts of the country and the world. And we weren't ready to give that up for like, oh, you came first. Like, that didn't vibe for us. So off we went and we finished, and yeah, it was super cool. It was so, I mean, Ash was in so much pain when she finished, and I think it was sort of a bit of an anticlimax to finish because it was so chaotic and like, oh my God, I've done it. But then there was so many people vying for our attention and wanting us and pulling us in different directions that it was like, I don't know what's happening. I felt like a deer in headlights at the finish. And for me, one of the most pertinent moments of the finish, aside from seeing Ash actually come over and just seeing you release the pain, the way you collapsed into Maddie, and he was like, Becs, find her a chair. And I literally like pulled the chair out of some older guy. I was like, stand up, give her the chair.
I didn't know that. Thank you.
And it was just, that was really emotional, seeing how far Ash had dug deep to finish. And then the Becs Rowe, one of the UK runners, she's phenomenal. She's a firefighter. She ran with a freaking heavy cylinder on her back on every race. And the Miami Fire Department came out to support her on her final race. And
that
it was really
so beautiful
moving
to see. Mm-hmm.
And in that moment, somebody said to me, you know why they're wearing their gas masks? Because they're moving in it until the gas runs out. And I was like, oh, okay. Why? And they said, because yesterday one of their teammates took their own life. So they're running in memoriam until their gas runs out. That sent me over the edge. And I was like, I grabbed Austin. I was like, I've got to get out of here. I've got to get out of here. This is too much. I just need to like process, because that was something I couldn't process. It was so beyond where my brain was at, but it was also something that was so harrowing that I was like, okay, that's my trigger of, whoa, you need a minute to get all of this together. And I just went to the beach and I could hear people coming in and hear the cheers and the excitement, and it kind of brought me back to life of, okay, everything's fine. That was really sad. This is amazing. And what you guys are all doing is amazing. And I think from then on, I was able to sort of realize we'd finished when I stepped away and just stood right where we walked in at the start, Ash, of just like, we came around that corner and we saw it all. And that, when I just watched the race for a minute as a kind of spectator in the moment, was wild to step like, it's like when you have that out of body experience, you feel like you're looking down on yourself in a moment. You're like, whoa,
yes,
is this really happening? That was me in that moment. And it was really, really cool to just stay around and watch our teammates all come across the line, and the various forms of happiness, pain, sadness. And it was
everyone's story and their why was so different. And just I loved watching all walks of life out there and completing something so crazy, from an 18-year-old to what was this, 70?
It was like 81.
81, yeah.
81, my goodness. Okay, I gave him a whole decade, but like, oh my gosh, like how incredible is that? And to see we're all so unique in our own ways, but we all have this crazy thing in common, that we want to do this stupid goal. Like, and so it unites us, and it was beautiful.
You guys all had a wonderful story, and it was so fun to follow along and learn more about everyone. And it just made the spectators more engaged, being able to just learn and see and feel how you guys are feeling. So we had to thank Ben for following along so closely with you guys, and thank you guys for giving us
and
such
for all you embracing the live
scoop.
stream.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Luckily we're used to camera, so I think that helps.
Yes.
Some people were like, I don't know what to do. I don't know
give it to Ash, give it to Becs.
We're like, oh, hi. They're like, they don't shut up. But that's our job, to be able to run and not shut up.
I think Jenny mentioned that in one of her podcast interviews. I'm like,
did she? Oh, that's funny.
It's really funny running with Ash and Becs, because they talk nonstop.
It's a great distraction though when you're really in those races and you're just trying to distract yourself. The small talk, it helps so much.
It does.
Yeah. I mean, the conversation was all over. Like,
that's the best thing about runners.
Even like in the silence, like I remember even just there was the silent moments. The ones I remember most was at first, like in Antarctica, like the silence, but just hearing our crunch, 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 crunch.
Oh yeah,
like almost on the, and it was such a beautiful noise.
It was,
but like calm. And I'm like, it was me, Hillary, and Becs at the time, and we're just like for those first two loops in Antarctica, and it was just like crunch, 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 our same stride. And then of course we try to talk. I try to talk, and I talk about my mouth.
yeah, it felt like the dentist.
Fine. You and Hillary like seem to be like, I can't heard enough my verse. Like,
no, I
don't know.
really, really felt like I was like I'd been to the dentist or I had some sort of numbing injections going on here.
Okay.
Because I felt like I was like,
Okay, so you did feel that way.
This part of my face was just so cold and numb, and I couldn't get my buff up a few times. It was just like getting really cranky.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Fingers aren't working. That was actually my biggest fear, was needing to go to the bathroom in Antarctica. I didn't have to. I'm like, with all the layers, how are you going to? But
that was
they figured it out.
That was quick. That was a pit stop.
Yeah.
Mercedes can learn from me.
Well, you two are
so
amazing.
funny.
Before we end this, Ashley, we know how much Maddie means to you, but Becs, really quick, last time you were on the pod, you talked about your aunt and uncle. And I think your aunt and uncle were essential for you here. They gave you the opportunity to do this trip. Could you take a second and talk about your aunt and uncle?
Yeah. So they, after a couple of Cosmos, when we were watching David Kilgore run the race in 2023, I was with my aunt and uncle. After a couple of Cosmos, my aunt was like, if you ever want to do it, I'd back you so you don't have to look for sponsorship. You can do this by yourself, quote unquote. And I was like, yeah, sure. 5 months postpartum, like, I'm never going to do this, whatever. And then, fast forward a year, and I called her and said, does that offer still stand? And I called her around 8:30, hoping she'd had a couple of Cosmos at this point. And she was like, yes, darling, we'd be honored. She's actually going to turn 82 on the 14th of this month. So she just, without sounding morbid, she was like, I would love nothing more than to be able to give you something that I can celebrate whilst I'm still on this planet. And so they have been instrumental in my career change. My uncle was one of the biggest inspirations for me to take my passion for running and remove myself from public relations and marketing role I was in before and put the passion into running. And so I credit him with a lot of the why of me being where I am now. To have them there in Miami, it was warm for them. They kind of popped in and out, and then they were there at the finish line, and they were the last people who wanted any of my attention. They were so sweet, and they just, my aunt just wanted to give me a big hug and kiss, and she knew we were going to spend a week together in Naples after the race. But without them, I wouldn't have done this race. I wouldn't have met these incredible women I'm now so lucky to call some close friends. And I got to do it without, with all due respect, big brand partnerships. I didn't owe anyone anything who I didn't want to owe something to. So I love them to bits, and it was so nice recovering with them in sunny, quiet, peaceful Naples, Florida.
I'm just so happy that no matter how the two of you came into this race, that you guys made the connection, and now you have this lasting friendship. Like, it's just so heartwarming to see.
Agreed.
It's so wonderful. So that's my 2 cents.
I love it. I know.
I'm still sitting here like,
she's stuck with me for life. I'm like, sorry.
Yay!
What races are we doing? What reunion? What adventure are we going to go on now?
But you should see all these chats.
You should. It was like, how do we top what we just did? But we just need to make something work.
You guys will think of something, I'm sure.
I'm sure we'll be able to come up with something fun.
Yeah, even if it is just me going to stay with Ash for a couple of days and running in her amazing home location.
Anytime,
well, let us know when you do. We'll come and we'll bring the recorder, and we'll just do like a fireplace.
That would actually be so fun.
Yeah,
that would be really cool.
We'll make that happen. But listen,
hey, what are you guys doing tomorrow?
Yeah.
Give me till after the holidays. I was actually just in Utah a year ago, and I even looked up. I was like 3 hours from St. George. I was in Moab. I was like, oh, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Ash and Becs, let me just tell you this. The live stream was awesome. It was so amazing seeing the two of you. So we have this thing called our pod fam, and Justin's a part of that. And it was extra interesting to us because the three of you were there. And Becs, last time you were on the pod, Erica ended the episode with some thank you about how you shout out everybody in your Becsby's community. And I want to take a chance to thank the two of you. So this poster behind me is what we call our foundation. Becs, you're over here. Ashley, you're right there. You're even right there, Ashley, because we had you on for the OTR Live when you won Badwater.
Yes.
This thing we're doing it was just going to be a small thing for us, and it's grown into this addiction, this passion project. And the two of you, with all your shout outs, every time you, Bex, when you go 6-star Erica, you mention the pod. Ashley,
Brings a
you
smile to our
decorated
faces.
your daughter's car with our stickers and magnets. You dodged traffic. You dodged runners in the Boston Marathon just to high five us at mile 19. The two things the two of you have done to support us and to pump our tires, it's just been, it's just, I don't have the words for it, but you two have done so much for us. You're both in our top 3 for most downloaded episodes of all time. Like, it's just, you're amazing, incredible supporters. Thank you so much. This is really something I dreamed of, and I brought Erica along with me. I'm like, let's do this, and she stuck with me. And we never envisioned, like, we knew you before we ever started this. We never envisioned we would have had the two of you. Ashley, I saw your Ironmans that I did, and Bex, we followed you on. And, Erica's running all the time with you and just nonstop talks about you, and you two are amazing. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for doing this. Like, people, when this drops, it's just, I'm so excited for this, and it turned out well, except for my spotty internet.
Yeah.
You guys
You're
are
so
always
kind.
so fun to chat with.
Yeah.
I was grateful to be back on, and Bex and I had talked about your podcast a few times. It's just, we love that you can just be real, and because it's just, who doesn't have that Code Brown issue? So it makes it fun, makes it happy, and then you get stories as well, get to know people a little bit better. Because what better way to get to know somebody than to be able to share a Code Brown moment?
Yes.
Thank you
so much. And I echo what Erica said earlier.
Kind.
I love that the two of you have created a bond and a friendship like you have. It's amazing to see.
Thank you.
Yay. Forevermore.
You guys are welcome back anytime. So your crazy adventures, just keep us in mind. Hopefully without Code Browns, but if they happen, you know where to come.
That's right.
That's right.
Thank you both.
Everyone, I really hope you enjoyed this. This was awesome. A dream come true. So many dreams that have come true on this poster here. The two of you are two of the best. Becs Gentry and Ashley Paulson on the On the Runs podcast. That was wicked awesome.
And congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, guys.
Oh, Ash, Bex, I cannot thank you two enough. This was just so much fun hearing your recaps, and you guys really did save the juicy stories for us. So,
it was great.
So thank you so much for coming back and talking to us, and we just love you so much. So all the epic shit that you guys keep doing, save up more cool stories and come back and talk to us.
Yeah,
we love it.
You're always welcome back. Some of my favorite episodes are when I do very little talking. I have very few questions to ask. As I was editing, I was like, man, I didn't talk a lot because I was just like,
Mm-hmm.
You were too. The three of you really vibe well together, though. You really do. You all understand each other. Maybe it's part that you're all women runners or something, but the three of you just vibe and jam, and you three need to hang out. That's what you gotta do. You gotta let's go to Utah. Like they said, we'll take the recorder. I won't talk or anything. I'll just turn on the recorder and make sure everyone's volume is good and do like a campfire conversation.
That would be a dream.
Campfire conversations with 6-star Erica. That could be a thing.
Oh, I'll start my own segment. I like the sound of that.
I'm gonna make you a star.
I already have 6 of them. Just kidding.
And you'll soon have 3 more to go.
We'll see about that.
Hey.
Oh man, what an episode. Oh, that was so much fun.
It was fun, and it wasn't without its own hiccups. We've had a few hiccups, and when you have Bex and Ash are super busy, they have tight schedules, right?
Yes.
So we're like, okay, we're going to meet at this time, and we're going to record for this much time, and you can't have hiccups like internet freezing or anything.
Cough.
And we had a few. On my end, I don't know what the heck was going on, but that intro you heard.
Usually it's my fault.
It was your fault? It was my fault.
No. Usually I'm the one with the internet issues.
Yes, true.
This was on your end for.
I had no clue what it was. Like, is it my internet? Was it my mic? I trusted the Riverside system to still be recording my audio onto the hard drive like it's supposed to. Something weird was happening where my screen froze, my audio would freeze on occasion. I fixed it all where I think you can't tell a difference. The one major time this happened was in the intro that I, in my mind, aced it. I aced it. I love these intros, and I love surprising these guests with our intro. So if I ever mess up the intro and I have to read it again, I feel like the guest already knows what's coming and they're not like so surprised anymore. So I was bummed.
Well,
and
you
I was
did
like, you know
nail
what?
it.
I was like, I think it worked. Let's just keep going. And they're like, okay. So I'm going to play you 2 audio tracks. The first being the bad, the second being the good. Are you ready for this?
Oh, I love this.
All right, here we go.
Yep, go.
Our next guests on the pod are 2 of our favorite Pod Fam alums. They're 2 absolutely badass runners and amazing mothers who went from social media acquaintances to seatmates on the Rolling Stones plane during the Great World Race as they both ran 7 marathons in 7 continents in 7 days. We were all glued to the live stream and knew we had to take our shot to get them both back on the pod together at the same time. One has the flying pink hair and the other one has the power of the flamingo. We are wicked excited to welcome back to the pod.
Oh no, did he freeze?
I love it. We are wicked excited and frozen.
And I'm like,
You froze for a second, buddy.
None of you hear that?
You cut out
you nailed it.
You nailed it. It stopped. Wicked excited. Then you stopped and froze.
Oh, well, I aced it. I think it worked. But how
Yay.
are the 2 of you?
So good. Oh my gosh, so excited to be back. Becs,
I miss you. I miss sleeping next to you.
I miss sleeping next to you.
That was the cutest thing. So you really did do they got all the good stuff. They were so excited. You could just see the smiles on their faces.
Yes.
It was only that one last little we're wicked excited to welcome.
And now that we're a video podcast where you can jump on YouTube and you can see these full episodes on YouTube, and where on Spotify, when it works, I can upload the video. I love that you can see Ash's facial reactions and Becs' smile as I say badass mothers and them just reacting to the intro. And if I re-recorded the entire thing, you wouldn't get to see those. And so I'm like, I can't do this. So I actually did record the entire thing. So the cadence and the flow would sound the same. And I don't think unless you're watching, because if you're watching, you'll see the screen go from the grid to just me. Here is the fixed audio version I had of the intro that you guys all heard when we introduced Becs and Ash earlier on the pod. But man, I was so pumped for this, and we'll talk about that after. But here you go, the fixed intro. Our next guests on the pod are 2 of our favorite Pod Fam alums. They're 2 absolutely badass runners and amazing mothers who went from social media acquaintances to seatmates on the Rolling Stones plane during the Great World Race as they both ran 7 marathons in 7 continents in 7 days. We were all glued to the live stream and knew we had to take our shot to get them both back on the pod together at the same time. One has the flying pink hair and the other one has the power of the flamingo. We are wicked excited to welcome back Ashley Paulson and Becs Gentry to the On the Runs podcast. What's up, you 2 amazing rock stars?
So good. Oh my gosh, so excited to be back. Becs,
I miss you. I miss sleeping next to you.
Round of applause for you, dude. So you sent me these clips the other day and you're like, tell me what you notice is different. And I was like, I don't know. It didn't cut out that time. And then you told me, you're like, I re-recorded that. And I was like, oh, and I went back and I look, I'm like, oh, the lighting is off.
The lighting, so my hand wasn't on the mic like before. Instead, my hands were in the air. But what did you say? What did you say? Because you kind of I was so excited and you kind of made me fumble for a second. I was like, what? Really? You said something.
What did I say? Oh, I don't know.
You liked the blooper one better.
I did kind of, just because it was silly and fun and in the moment. But then you brought up the thing. You want it to be if anybody professional is listening, you want to make it seem like a professional podcast.
But we can have fun and play with it and joke about it after. It can be a blooper reel, or we can talk about it in the outro.
This is just so much. Let it be a huge compliment to your editing skills, my friend. You're
well,
so
if anyone's
good
out there
at
looking for one, I might be venturing out to do more. But yeah, I was so pumped about that. I didn't want the listeners to wait for the outro blooper because I actually have something else that you're going to hear after the music cuts out at the end, where everyone gets to listen. Usually it's a blooper or a mess up or something funny or cute. So I think Erica's going to love this week's little end of the episode blooper. But after the music, stick around for 5 seconds. You'll get to hear it. Yeah, that was super fun. Super amazing to have those 2 rock stars on this pod. Badass runners, badass mothers. That rhymes. I'm going to stick with it.
Sure.
They're amazing. So I did my thank you, just like you did yours the last time they're on. Thank you so much, Becs, and thank you so much, Ashley, for coming on the pod multiple times now and being part of this pod fam.
For real.
And supporting us and pumping our tires. You two are rock stars. I can't wait to meet you again in person and have you on the podcast. It'll be great.
Absolutely.
That was fun.
So much fun.
We have more coming from the Great World Race later this week and the week after Christmas. I'm super excited and super pumped. I'm actually still talking to some others, and whoever we don't get over the next few weeks, we'll spread them out throughout the year, because there's people who ran that race like Justin, Ashley, and Becs who are part of our pod fam. We know who they are, so it's great to have them come back just for a recap.
Oh, yeah.
But there's some runners from that race. We don't know who they are. We don't just want a Great World Race recap. We want, like, your story. We want to hear about you. So I'm talking like all of them. Hillary, Tariq, Shireen, so many, the longevity people. David, the race director, let's get him on next year.
You got David Kilgore, too. He's like absolutely insane.
Is he from New Hampshire, or does he live in New Hampshire? Because his girlfriend is from Keene.
No
and
shit.
During the live stream, and that's a hint to a future guest of ours, during the live stream, somebody was talking to David. I actually don't think it was the live streamer host. I think it was Austin. And he says, yeah, we're going back to New Hampshire after this. And I was like, I think they stay out in the Keene area.
Interesting. I actually have no idea.
David, if you're here in New Hampshire, let's do it. Come on the podcast, but can we do it in person?
Wouldn't that be cool? He's only like an hour
That's
away.
going to be something. We're recording an in-person episode next week. We did one earlier this year with Amber. It's just so much fun.
Yeah.
So that was amazing. And I think because we're still technically on our December break, and we have a busy schedule coming up in January and February. We have a lot of amazing guests we've already recorded with, and we have future things scheduled. But like, we're on break. Let's stay on break. Unless, do you have anything you want to bring up?
I do, actually. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It was mostly on Facebook so far, not so much Instagram, but I just want to say thank you to everybody who has reached out and supported me for my Chicago fundraiser so far. The love that I have been getting is incredible. Like, I am so at a loss for words for the incredible support that you guys have shown me. I've heard stories about people who have also lost loved ones, and just people saying that I'm doing an awesome thing for an awesome charity. And I agree. I think that American Foundation for Suicide Prevention is just an incredible cause. So just if you guys have donated, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. If you have reached out and just said messages to me, thank you. I want to hear your stories. I'm happy to share mine. Feel free to reach out. I'm always an ear to listen. If you need anything from me, just please reach out. This is really, really important to me. And I just cannot thank everybody enough for the support I've reached so far. For the support.
It was amazing
I've had
to
so
see.
far, yeah.
Like, well over $2,000 in one day.
Yeah.
Did you hit your goal? You did hit your goal, and then you bumped it up.
I did hit my goal. So I've reached my minimum fundraising goal, and I just wanted to see what kind of good I can keep doing. And if it wasn't for all of you, I mean, I don't know where I would be, but I can't express my gratitude enough. Yeah. So I'm just going to keep seeing what happens. I have until I think the 1st of October of 2025 to keep raising money. So who knows? I mean, sky's the limit. Sky's
the limit. Maybe next you start raising to run in the Great World Race. We'll see. I will put the link for your fundraising in the show notes. So everyone, if you want to fundraise, they'll be in the show notes, and they'll be in the show notes going forward into her Chicago Marathon race.
Thank you.
They'll always be in there. Even if you go back to episode 1, or if you go back to episode, I think it was 58 with Ash, or 87 with Becs, like, they'll be in those show notes too.
Aww.
So the link will always be in the show notes until she runs in the Chicago Marathon. We'll also throw the links in for a few pod fam you're going to hear from later in the year who are running Chicago and or Boston. So if you want to fundraise them, that's how you can find it. But yeah, that's what happens when you have a charity you're running for that is near and dear to your heart. That is my opinion. And when you opened up and talked about your brother on the podcast and talked about the foundation, people were like, yes, I want to give to Erica here because of your story and about the story of you and your brother. So that was awesome. I'm so proud of you, and I'm pumped.
Thank you. It means so much. Like, it's such a hard thing to talk about, but it is, from what I've heard from friends and family and even strangers, this is such a prevalent thing, and it breaks my heart, but I'm also heartwarmed. Does that make sense? Like, it's just, it is too common. And if this can do anything to save a life, I mean, it's all worth it.
Yes, 100%. That's great. That's a great episode. We'll be back in 2 days with another Great World Race.
Oh my gosh. I'm still so into this Great World Race stuff. The more the merrier.
That's right. Erica, feel better.
Thank you. I'm working on it.
We'll be back in 2 days with more from the Great World Race. I'm super pumped. Next week, we'll have our Christmas special. Guys, if you really love this, like the pod, share the pod, give us a rating, follow us on Instagram, shoot me a DM and say hello. Follow us on all the platforms we are on. If you really love us and want to support the podcast, you can on Patreon, and you can be a friend of the pod or lover of the pod. This is a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun doing this. We are going to be doing this for a long time and making many more friendships like we have with people like Becs and Ashley and all the amazing local runners here and all the runners out in the NERT country and all around the world. Can't wait to hear more and more running stories. This is so much fun. You rock, Erica. You're a kick-ass rock star.
Eric. You kick-ass.
Guys, enjoy. Have a great week. Erica, take us home.
Guys, make sure you go sign up for the Flying Pig Marathon, because apparently I'm the unofficial spokesperson.
That's right. We'll talk about that later.
Bex and Ashley, thank you so much for coming on. We love you so much. Thank you for listening. You know we love you.
Don't fear the code brown.
And don't forget to stretch.
3, 2, 1.
I just want to make sure we're all good here.
How am I looking? Oh, 60. Okay, yeah, it's going up.
Beautiful.
You look gorgeous.
Erica, beautiful.
I see flamingos. Oh, you just did. I got a Christmas one.
Cute.